Oh, I see my wheels spinning on this side. It looks like things are trying to work. You going live with the Meta glasses too?
I should, but not today. I was going to. I wanted to.
I like those things, man. Okay,
They're good. They're great.
I'm gonna catch Instagram. We should be live on Instagram now, and the rest of the streams are going to catch up now. So Instagram always gets this VIP section, this backdoor entrance to what we're doing here and seeing the behind the scenes stuff. So,
They get the first peek.
all right, countdown. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. I'm Nick Slavic. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of this show, Ask a Painter Live. It is a weekly live Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube show where we talk about the life of a master craftsman and the life of a paint business entrepreneur. Special guest today, Fred Leiva. Did I say Leiva correctly?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Yeah.
So Fred and I had the pleasure of meeting at Chicago this year at one of the industry's coolest events, the Chicago District Pro Show for Sherwin-Williams. They do it like nobody else. They have it at a barbecue rock club. We take up the whole venue and things like that. And I had the pleasure of meeting Fred. More on that later. Thank you for everybody watching on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook is firing up here. Get any of your questions ready for Fred. I'm going to give you a quick preview. If you've not seen Fred before, you've likely seen his videos. They are some of the more satisfying videos in our industry and on the internet. Based on view numbers. So we're going to talk about more of those later. But first, we got some industry events coming up here. So the immediate things happening are this Friday, I'm going to be in Brooklyn at Topline Pro. It's a tech company that serves our industry, some of the coolest people. They came out of Y Combinator, and they're trying to support our industry, professionalize the industry. They're hosting a master's class with me in downtown Brooklyn, which is one of the coolest places ever. Unique setting in a tech company, and it's going to be a blast. That is this Thursday. Message me if you want to come. We have a gathering of Ohio painters in Columbus, Ohio, 21 May. We have Indianapolis. You think I'd be better saying that coming from Minneapolis, Indianapolis, Indiana, 22nd May, Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, 18 June, Coastal Virginia, 26 June, San Francisco, 14 August, and of course, one of the crowning achievements of the year, the Gathering of Minnesota Painters, where we get about 150 of my friends, local contractors here in Minnesota, together in December. Outside of that, join the PCA Business Accelerator, the Painting Contractors Association, which brings a lot of us great people together like Fred and me. I would urge you to go to one of their events this fall, be a member, do the business training. So, all right, Fred, you've heard me talk long enough here. Fred, what do we need to know about Fred? You're from Chicago, yes?
Yes, I am. And first off, thank you for bringing me on. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm glad we connected over there. And definitely I've been looking forward to this.
No, likewise, man. Born and raised Chicago?
Born and raised in Chicago, yes, north side of
Nice.
Chicago. I've been out here entire life, so it's know the business, know the area, and all of it.
So it's funny, like every time the Chicago Sherwin Pro Show is kind of like a yearly visit for me. It's a pilgrimage there. The district does it so well. It attracts, I think they had like 1,400 people through there. It's one of the biggest in the
There
nation.
was a lot of people there, man.
It's unbelievable. So it's one of the coolest aesthetically looking places. Live rock venue, Christmas
Yep.
lights strung up. I get to present from a live music stage. And then in the next place, there's an even larger live music stage where they actually have the vendors and stuff. So
Yeah.
no wonder they get so many people there. Chicago, every time I go there, I typically have either a dinner or a lunch with a bunch of locals, and all they do is talk about political corruption. What is going on? It feels like
That's all it is, man.
they're like, hey, 9 of the last 10 governors are in jail and things like that. It's
Yeah,
just mind blowing.
it's a lot. I try to stay out of all the politics, especially when talking with the clients, but it's you can go on and on with all of that. It
It's just,
doesn't stop.
I just love the different flavors of the places that I go. And same thing. I am completely apolitical, but it's like it's getting an update from a soap opera every time I come to Chicago about that
Always,
stuff.
always. But you like you said, you can never miss some good food, man. There's always a great food spot nearby. Always.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite local spot? Do you have a favorite large spot to go?
Honestly, I'd probably just say my favorite would be like Illuminati's pizza, deep dish, just classic. You know, it's Chicago classic pizza. If not that, then no, I'd probably I'd just stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. And I always try to do some of the local stuff when I'm there. And that's one of those you eat one slice of pizza.
Yeah, two is pushing it.
Yeah.
Two would really be pushing it. So
How you're a professional painter, you own a painting
yes,
business.
yes,
Fred's Painting Services.
yep. FPS.
And how long have you owned the business?
So I've been in business now for about 13 years.
Mhm.
Started originally when I was about 15 years old. I started. My dad had a remodeling business for over 30 years.
Wow.
Um, High end and very. I mean, we have a level that we try to stick to level of quality that we try to stick with. And seeing him run his business for so many years, COVID hit. He decided to retire.
Yep.
I didn't want anything to do with the remodeling business. I said, I'm okay. I'll stay away from that. Um, Before that, he had already shown me and led me to go down the painting route, saying it's a lot less unknown and a lot,
Mm,
it's almost what it is what you just see, unless there's some sort of mold going on underneath it. But
yeah.
most of the time, it is what you see. So I started about 15 years old with him, running around doing the work on the weekends or when I didn't have school. And it just kind of from there, I learned all aspects of the business. I learned the sales. I learned how to deal with customers. I learned how to deal with my employees, all of it. And from that, and also seeing how my dad handled himself with his clients, rubbed off on me and gave me the opportunity to continue my business and put me where I am right now.
So it's really interesting. I've been thinking a lot about my time with my father. I started like you, young.
Hmm.
And I think one of the things that sticks with me the most is how he talked to clients,
Hmm.
how confident he was, how
Yep.
caring and empathetic. What did
Yep.
you take away from how your father interacted with clients?
Exactly what you just said. Just that level of confidence. And
Mm,
if you knew my dad outside of business, he's very quiet, very timid. But when you talk to him about business and about the things that he knows or the things that he loves, it's just you can see the confidence in him. And he was also to the type of person, or he is the type of person that if he wasn't so sure about something, he wouldn't just try to, talk it and make it up. He would actually tell the clients, hey, you know what? Let
mm.
me find out from, we can talk to people at Sherwin or things that I do now. We can talk to all of these other professionals as well and get the right answer and do the right thing for them. But the confidence, man. I think the confidence is the biggest thing dealing with your clients and knowing what you're trying to sell.
I think, man, underconfidence just belies so much other stuff like knowledge, experience, and I think almost most importantly is like one of the best competitive advantages is love of what you do. And
Yes.
there is no fake in that funk, man.
Yeah.
Like,
No, not at all. Not at all. If you don't love it, I have it on my profile. If you don't love what you're doing, it's going to show in your work. And
oh yeah.
every job, I'm fortunate, and I really try my hardest when I work with my clients to make sure that before we leave their home, they are 100% happy with all of the work. It's what kept me. It's what keeps me in business.
Yeah, well for anybody, for anybody to be in business that long is masterful because like we're talking in Chicago. There's some
Yeah.
crazy industry stats that we follow that are sometimes hard to believe, which is
Yep.
the average paint business goes out of business in 18 months. So
Yeah.
for somebody to have almost 10 times the length of that, obviously you're doing something right. And on the base of that is probably a pretty thick layer of happy clients, right?
Oh, I would like to say so, man. I think that's really before social media, which I know that's a whole other thing right now, but before social media, it was thankfully I had the opportunity, like I said, from my dad. So a lot of his clients came
Mm,
and they reached out to me, which truly is what helped me get going. If it wasn't for my dad's clients, there would have been no maybe I shouldn't say there would have been no, but there, it would have been a lot harder to get to take off the way that I did. I'm um, again, yeah, it's just having that foundation of clients from him that really helped me take off. Just because there's just so many uh, painters in Chicago, and it's
mm.
very very competitive always.
Well, and Chicago always strikes me as such an interesting town where it's still one of the only places in the country, maybe outside of Boston, where I can go to a gathering, an industry gathering, and you'll meet a guy who runs a painting company. He's been doing it for 42 years. He's got 22 Polish guys that work for him, and they've all been with him for 28 years. You're just like, what? They're all wearing white button-up shirts, and you're like, nowhere else in the country is this left over like this. This
Yeah.
is like an old school 1940s,
Yeah.
Eastern European sort of thing. And they're all master craftspeople. They all care deeply. And it's like, yeah, there's some really deep craft and tradition and that like
Mhm.
old school mentality in Chicago that I've always appreciated.
Yeah. And you have to know, you know what, you have to have it just because you also get in Chicago these homes and these buildings that are historic, and you have to know what you're doing in order to work on those. There's usually the city has their own regulations on what can and can't be done on the exterior and all of that. So it's a whole. I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that.
No, I love, so I'm in kind of a middle, Minneapolis and St. Paul is kind of the third coast, right? And we look to Boston and Manhattan and we look to San Francisco and Chicago and all those places, but Miami, but really we're kind of a middle ground where we do have a lot of those beautiful historic homes.
Mhm.
But what I've noticed, San Francisco, Chicago, and Boston are kind of the progenitors of this, where the clients demand more. Like I've went with Zach Kenny to job sites before in old Boston where somebody's fifth home is a $21 million brownstone. And these clients are interested. They are picky. They
Yeah,
demand master
yeah.
craftsmanship. And I see homeowners do that in the Midwest, but we don't have that tradition, that 200-year tradition of that sort of thing. So I've
Yeah.
always appreciated that deeply. And you guys get held to a higher standard, I think.
It's competitive. I'll say that it's very very competitive.
Yeah, and it feels like your community is connected. You kind of know of each other, and o- on odds, probably a little more professionalized than the rest of the country too. I think Chicago and Boston and areas like that just make it be that way.
Yeah, you have to have that level of professionalism. Dealing with. I mean, I would say just my clients, but it's really just all of Chicago. You
Yeah,
go anywhere, and you just get that feeling of business all the time.
love it. How do you
Yeah.
find most of your work nowadays?
So now I used to do a lot of an application called TaskRabbit, which
Hmm.
is like part of IKEA, I believe. A lot of the work I used to get from there after COVID. Let me start here. After COVID, I had to slow the business down a lot. I had to let go of some of the guys just because there was no work like
Yeah.
everybody else, and I had to kind of shut things down a little bit. I started finding ways to keep myself busy during that time, and that's when I found out about TaskRabbit and like Handy, all those things. I started doing TaskRabbit and slowly built my way up. It's all based off of like an algorithm of reviews and all of, I mean, like everything else, right?
Yep.
So I built my way up, started at the bottom, and it really just kind of took off. Reviews took off. Like I said earlier, I really strive to, when I was doing the work myself, um, always strive to leave everybody happy and come out of there with a good rating, good review, which is why on TaskRabbit, it's all 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
There's no,
I was gonna say I followed the link from your Instagram page. You have lots of reviews, and they're
yeah,
all 5 stars, man. You must have worked your tail off.
I do, and it's always like I said, it's just making sure that the clients are happy because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that those are my base foundation clients that now I don't use TaskRabbit as much. It's still open, but I don't use it as much anymore. And really, it's just word of mouth referrals from clients. And now I'm starting to work my way with the social medias, trying to start working my way to show the business that way. But it's a little tough because the social media went a different route instead of showing the work.
Okay, well, what a perfect segue into this. So, if you don't know Fred, you probably know these videos here. Fred, tell us what tell us what this is all about, man. This is insane what you do on the internet.
It started. I mean, it I don't even know where to start, honestly. It snuck up on me too. It was one of those things that yeah, that one has 225 million views on there.
Dude, I don't know if I've seen another video on Instagram with that many views. I'm sure one of the Kardashians has one or something,
You
but
know
that
what?
is insane.
I've been looking. I haven't found, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn
Fred,
here, but
you got to be proud of that, man. That's
I'm,
insane.
yeah, I am actually, because I'll be honest. You know what? Actually, I had a conversation with my wife, and I didn't really realize that how big of an accomplishment that was until I started looking through, like you said, going through these famous people's profiles and looking. And I'm like, okay, 10 million, 15 million. I'm like, okay, I have 225 million on one. It yeah, I haven't found one. I'll be honest, I have not found one. It's how it started. My kids. I have two daughters, and my oldest is 13, my youngest is 11, and I would see them watching like slime videos on
Oh
YouTube,
yeah.
and I mean things that all these kids were doing, right?
Yep.
Um, I originally started the content going with work that I was physically doing, painting the houses, painting rooms, whatever it was that I had lined up for the day. And I had 1,000 views, maybe 500 views. It was nothing crazy. And I said, okay, well, I've got all of these painters that are already out there. Alec paints. I mean, all these guys, right? They're guys that have millions of followers already. Said they already took over that niche. How can I be different? What can I do differently? And not only get the painting community, but I wanted to get as many people as I could
Mm.
into the videos. And that was where the idea came from, watching my daughter's slime videos. And then I would come home at the end of the day. Usually I would record for them, and I would show them. I'm like, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh, that was satisfying. Or, oh, that was boring. And as I was testing it out, I would get more, oh, that was really satisfying. That was cool. And I said, you know what, let me try posting it online. And it just took off, man. From there, I did a cleaning of a roller, and then I tried the paintbrush, and it just really took off.
Dude, I love that, man. And so what I heard when you say that was, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you saw something, you saw potential demand, and you adapted it to what you know. That is a
Yeah,
beautiful thing, man.
yeah.
That's a mind of an entrepreneur thinking there.
It was put into me as a baby, man. Like I said, my parents, both of my parents are very, very hard workers, and it just rubbed off on me to always think outside of the box. And I mean, you being in the business, having the 9 to 5, it just doesn't work for me. I need to have the ability. I mean, don't get me wrong. We work hard, but having the ability to say, I need to take my daughter to a field trip, or
Yep.
I just need a day off, or whatever it is. It's having that freedom. It makes a difference for me.
And what's interesting is there's an unspoken sentence that none of us ever say at the end of that, which is the freedom to take our daughters to things and do what we need to for our families, but also the freedom to work when we need to and want to
Yes.
as well too. And
Yeah.
that's the big part. Sometimes people forget about that part and they only think about you can just leave work whenever you want. It's like,
Yeah. No.
no, I can work whenever I want.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of us, the bigger problem is putting limits on that for our family
Yes.
because
One
we are
hundred
just sort
percent.
of, especially us people who got brought up young in the trades, dude, there's a certain mentality and I mean almost like problematic lifestyle that comes with that, which is
Yep.
you start sitting around on a Sunday, you think, oh, it's so nice, I could just be knocking out this deck, you know. One of
You
those
start
things.
thinking of everything else you have left, man. There's the amount of times I've woken up in the middle of the night just thinking of like I have to finish this, or I gotta. Now it's
Yep.
like I have to record this content. I gotta do this. It's just yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. People don't think about those. They always just think, oh, you're able to take off and go do this whenever you want. But
Yeah.
it is a lot of work. The amount of times I find it that there's a lot of hours, or sorry, there's not enough hours in the day anymore for me to get everything done anymore. Used to be
Well,
a little bit easier.
Well, what's really awesome, that speaks to me of like not being productive. That speaks to me of like endless possibilities and always seeing the opportunity in something, things like that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that is a mindset that comes along with kind of what we do, and I appreciate very deeply.
yeah, yeah. And again, and you recognize it because it's the same type of mindset that you have, man. It's just that business mindset that it just never stops. You always think of, oh, I can do this, or we can make this a possibility. It's just
Yep.
always in the brain never stops working.
So many of us are never going to have a video that does 225 million. I'm looking down your roster here of 225, 103, and this is one platform and only the videos that I'm seeing. What happens when you do a video like that? Expected and unexpected things. What happens to you?
um, I mean, honestly, it's been slowly kind of changing a lot of things for me on the like financial side, but also because of um, the partnerships that I have out of there. I have a couple of partnerships already that I've done. I'm sure you know Zebra Painting. They have
Mhm.
their brushes at Home Depot. All these stores I've done. I have partnership currently with Handy Paint Products, a coffee company called
Minnesota
Backbone.
company. Yeah, handy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. I know you. You're very familiar with. I know a couple names. I won't
Isaac.
say anything, but we were talking about you the other day.
Oh, awesome.
I was telling. We could talk about it later, but I was telling them that we're gonna go do a live with you together
Oh,
here.
dude, he was texting me. Honestly, couldn't be a better partnership than you doing what you do with the handy pail. That is so
I
cool, man.
I think it's great. I think it's been awesome. Dealing with them has been really nice. It's been really
Great
cool.
company, man.
Um, you know, things, different opportunities like that. I'm very selective with
Yeah.
who I try to partner with because I'm not a person that wants to just kind of shove things down people's throat and buy this or buy that. If I genuinely like it or enjoy it, you're gonna see it on my channel
Yeah.
or on my accounts. But it's been great, man. I'm trying, like I said earlier, I'm trying to get the business aspects put back into the social media, but it's a little bit tough. I wanted that to kind of push business a little bit more, but I have gotten clients. People have reached out from Instagram, mainly from Instagram. But it's been a wild ride. Very quick. I've only been doing this social media for like 6 months, and I think six out of those
Oh
six
my God.
months, yeah, out of those 6 months, it was maybe 4 months, 5 months worth of like viral videos now.
That's awesome. Dude, you tapped into it. I love it when people see a need and do something about it. It's just such a beautiful
Yeah,
thing, man. And like when you see all these views and stuff here, I mean, there's only 300,000 painting companies in North America, and there's only 428,000 painters in North America. So you're expanding far outside our industry, man, with these things.
yeah, which is you know it's become the goal. It's like it
Yeah.
was always the goal. It's not just to get the painters. I wanted to get everybody involved, and you know, now it's like the videos I put out. I really like to show the colors that are available. I right now I'm using
Yeah.
Benjamin Moore. I'm using Sherwin-Williams. I throw in a couple of Behr colors every once in a while, and it's just you know I think, and I'm sure you know this, right? When we get to a client's house, I think the biggest issue that most clients have is picking a color.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Going through and I mean you have whites and you've got 1,000 different whites available, and they're like, Fred, which one looks the best? And I always tell them, okay, go to the store, buy a small sample, throw it up on the wall, or I can have the guys do it, or I can come out and do it. um, this is another way for people to see colors, to see it. And I still don't recommend it 100% to just go based off of the videos,
Yeah.
but it gives a little bit more direction to a color. That way they can see it not just on the wall, or sorry, not just in a swatch, it more on the canvas or on the drywall or whatever it is that I'm going to be putting it on. Um, and then it's really a lot of it's just for the satisfying part of the video. I mean, you know, I think that's what people really enjoy. It's just the sounds and the visual.
It's so I hate to say just a brush and some paint, but what I love what you did was you took something visually to keep somebody interested, and they're actually
Mhm.
looking at the color. In this particular video here, this gray, you're describing it too.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
actually adding some value to the client. It's not just a ASMR video for a 6-year-old, right?
Hmm.
This is like there is an actual pro using an actual pro brush with some paint, and you're actually adding some value to the client. So no, there's layers to this sort of thing,
Yeah,
man. And I think
yeah.
it's so cool what you do.
I'm experimenting with all of it. I appreciate it. I really do. It
Yeah.
means a lot. I'd never expected to have this many people reach out and this many people truly watch the videos. I mean, the amount of family members that have told me, "Oh, I've seen your video," and it wasn't even on your account. It was some other guy took it and put a story on it. But it's like just the fact that so many people are taking the video, using it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. I never expected it to happen. And like you said, that's exactly why I add the description. I don't do it on all of them just because of, you know, the algorithm, and sometimes things don't work well with certain things. But
Yeah.
um, I try to do it so that way it gives, like you said, I put in there a little description of where that color would look great at.
Yeah.
Those are more like, for example, the one you're showing right now. That's more of like I'm just goofing around, just kind of mixing some colors and just trying to get the attention a little bit more.
Oh, that's cool.
So those, I get a lot of people, oh, what color is that? I'm like, I wish I knew. I wish I
It's
knew.
about 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about telling people, I was like, I mixed all of these colors and here you go, try it out.
Have you had a favorite, personally, a favorite color that you've done this with?
You know what? Actually, I would say one of the latest ones that I just did. If you want to scroll to the top, let's see that blue one. I think my favorite one. Go down one more. Yeah, there you go. I think that blue one's probably one of my favorites the most recent one, and it actually is doing really, really well. I think on TikTok I have about 4 million views on that one right now,
Jeez.
and that's 5 days old. I think it
That's
is.
beautiful, man. What are you dropping that paint onto right there?
So that's just a canvas right now.
Yep. I
Yeah,
like it.
just to give it a little sound, a little color, all of it. Um, Try with the drywall, it works too, but I
Oh,
like the
yeah.
canvas.
And I notice one particular type of brush in all these. Is that a brush you use all the time, or is that just brush for these videos?
That's a brush that I personally really like to use. Not so much the flat angle, but usually that is the brush that I like to use for work. That
Nice.
brand specifically. I won't
Yeah.
say what it is, just because I've been trying to reach out to them, but they don't respond to me.
Interesting. Okay, well, you hold that out for them. So, okay.
Yeah, yeah, we'll hold that one
Um,
out.
what for the painting business? Outside of this sometimes social media can give people the impression, a self-inferred impression of how much like I won't say commercial painting because that's a thing in our industry, but painting to support our families versus
Mhm.
this sort of content creation. What does your average day and week look like between painting for actual clients and then this sort of thing?
So the way I usually work it is for these videos, I try to do them in bulk.
Yep.
Usually I'll have a calendar already set of colors. I usually buy the colors in advance or whatever it is that we're using for the jobs. Um, I'll have all of those colors already set. So I've got the calendar. I try to get those done in maybe 3 to 5 at a time. So that way during the week, I don't have to worry too much about it anymore. If I don't get it done, which does happen a lot of times now lately, usually I'm up at 5 in the morning. Come downstairs to the office space, do the videos, get my kids ready for school. My wife makes them lunch. I've cooked them breakfast. Um, I try, if I have appointments, I try to do estimates two or three times out of the week.
Nice.
Um, just to kind of give myself also space to work on the estimates as well, and then also check on the guys. So I have about two crews right now of two crews of two guys, and I try to keep at least one crew busy 5 days out of the week.
Nice.
That gives me the time and the freedom to do the content and also be available to do meetings like this or whatever else that I have going on as well. Um, it's really, I'll be honest, the social media has taken over a lot more of the business side of things. It's been more time consuming. It's actually, I want to say it's more full-time job right now than, than the actual business side of things. The good thing is that the crews that I have, they're all great guys. They all know
Oh,
what they're supposed
awesome.
to do. I get them started at the jobs, and for the most part, I don't have to worry. I go and I see how they're doing at the end of the day or the next day, and kind of it just runs. Thankfully, right now. Um, and then after that, pick up my kids from school, drive them around the city for gymnastics and whatever else we're
Yeah.
doing. Try to hang out with my wife for a little bit before I'm asleep by 9:30, and then it starts all over again.
Dude, I hear you. What time do your crews start on site and end every day?
Usually around we try to be there around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we're done around 4:35.
Nice. Nice, man.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, it sounds like you got a pretty good handle on work-life balance, but this is evolving, you
Yeah.
know. But it sounds like you think about it like the rest of us, right? So we have thoughts about it. I don't know that anybody's got it purely solved, but like you got crews to maintain, you got clients, you have a deep love of clients. This is becoming a
Mhm.
bigger thing in your life now. You also have two young kids that need you and a wife. How do you
Mhm.
think about goals and structures and limits or no limits on that sort of thing in a week?
The limits is a tough one for me. I'll start with that. Limits for me when it comes to work, especially with everything going on, it's definitely hard for me to call it quits sometimes, and
Mm.
it's just again, and I'm sure you're aware, it's just when you know you have so much on your hands that you just need to get it done, and again, there's I wake up at 5 in the morning so I can get work started, and I still don't have enough time, and by the end of the day, it's hard for me to work at night because I'm falling asleep. But the limits is very hard. That's
Yeah.
one of the ones I'm trying to work on, especially with the social media. You want to stay active. You want to respond to everybody commenting. You want to do all these things, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps
Social
going.
media doesn't thrive on barriers.
No, not at all. It just keeps going and it keeps going, and I'm learning now to like, okay, that can wait. No big deal. I'll respond in a little bit later.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's a that's a tough one for me, man. Um,
You wave the magic wand. What would move you a little closer towards your goal of work-life balance right now?
I think it would just be I think just limiting the social media.
Hmm.
I think limiting the social media, having maybe set times for me, almost like work hours, right? Is
Yeah.
saying from 9 to 5, and then after that it's done. But it's tough because then at the end of the night I'm trying to edit, I'm trying to do all these things. So it's still, as much as I don't want to, I still have to do that to keep things going.
Yeah.
Like I said, it I get paid now through like TikTok, I get paid through YouTube um, for the videos, and I look at it as if I'm not doing the work, then I'm not going to get paid, and I have to keep kind of pushing, and it's just always thriving and striving to get everything complete, and it just doesn't happen every day now.
So man, that blurs a lot of lines because 99.9% of humans don't derive monetary gain from social media. So
Yeah.
when you do, the rest of the world has a sort of like, oh, this love hate relationship with this thing, but it really is social, right? It is just like, oh, I know I shouldn't have so much screen time, but it connects me
Hmm.
with people. And I see a little bit of that in my kids and how they connect with people.
Yeah.
But then the problem is what happens when it's kind of like a business, you know? And so now all
Yes.
of a sudden there's this thing that's a vice. It's rotting kids' brains. There's too much
Hmm.
screen time. It's taken over. It's making us antisocial. But then it's like, well, wait a second. If I push the pedal down on this and hopefully keep a safe barrier, this thing can now be like a little freedom machine for my
It,
family. And that
that's
blurs some
exactly
lines, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think about it probably more often than I should be, and it's like all I have to do is just keep pumping out more videos,
Yep.
pumping out more videos, pumping out more videos, and it'll be full time. But it gets a little tricky, right? Because I've also noticed the more content you push out, it doesn't always mean it's going to do really, really well. Sometimes it is better to
Yep.
just do one or two videos and give it a couple days in between and let it do its thing.
Yep.
Um, it is exactly like you said, though. My kids, a lot of times now, they see me in the morning, and I'm checking to see what people were saying overnight and all of that, seeing how the views were doing. And sometimes it's like I have to explain to them, well, I'm working now. It's not just me on my phone just watching some video. It's like I'm actually working. This is now, as weird as it sounds, it is work. It's tricky. It's kind of like you said, it's blurred. I feel bad because I don't. We limit our kids on their screen time a
Yeah.
lot, and we also limit their social. Like my kids don't have social media. I don't let them have TikTok or anything. Um, I just think it's for the best, especially at this age. There's a lot of. I mean, that's a whole other thing, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, we limit all of that. So I
If you
feel
want to
like
you
a
want to talk
hypocrite.
about blurred lines, you explained it better than I could. Dad is starting a business on it, but you limit your kids so they're not harmed by it. Like
Yeah.
that is a crazy world we're living in. And the oddest part is you mentioned at the start of this, the time before social media, harken back. I mean, both of us started businesses before when that was
Mhm.
the predominant way of doing this. And
Yep.
like this is a thing that we all had to figure out. It was thrust upon us. And not only does it like we see it infiltrate people's lives in unhealthy ways, the problem is we do see it infiltrate in some healthy ways. Like I've met some of my best friends on earth. You're providing for your family with it, like, but that's not everybody's experience. So when you tell your kids, hey, I'm working right now, you can't blame them when they think that
I
doesn't
know.
sound real.
I
You know?
know, I know, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like I feel like a hypocrite sometimes when I tell them
Yes.
that, because I'm telling them like this is bad for you. Don't watch this. Don't do that. And then I have to go and as weird as it sounds, right? It's like anything. You have to do research. So I sit down sometimes and I start scrolling ASMR. All of that for me was new. I knew like I was like, oh, that's satisfying. I never really knew what ASMR was. I have younger siblings. They were the ones that kind of explained it a little bit more to me. I had a don't get me wrong. I knew, but I didn't have like
Yeah.
the full. I didn't know all of the full
Understanding
information.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like a hypocrite when I tell my kids sometimes, like, "Hey, you got to cut out screen time. You have to have limits." And then I'm over here doing like research. Like, I say research, and they look at me like, "Yeah, research."
Yeah.
It's like I'm actually watching videos or looking through captions to see how people what they put for the captions for videos, how they put hashtags, keeping up with different trends. I mean, all of that I have to kind of take into consideration when I'm doing it. I have a little book and everything where I write down like different things that I see, right? Just to
Yeah.
kind of stay on top of it all.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I think it's a very hard concept for them and even for me to understand. Like I am actually working. It's not just me uh, scrolling through social media all day. I'm trying to figure out how to stay in the loop here with all the social media stuff
Yeah.
because it changes all the time.
Oh, dude, we live in such a weird world because, you know, you want to talk about I'm trying to figure out the kindest way to say this. We're in an industry that doesn't evolve as fast as TikTok, right? So
Yes.
you look at a paintbrush, the paintbrushes you use,
Hmm.
doing this on TikTok, that brush is the same idea we used in the 1800s.
Yep.
You know, the roller
Yep.
came along, a sprayer came along. We coat stuff for color and protective qualities like this. Not a lot has changed in our
Hmm.
professional lives, but then this, literally, you can be posting the same thing all the time, doing this, innovative, taking notes, seeing what the kids are watching, things like this. And then you
Yep.
post something, you follow that, and it doesn't do anything what the other ones do. And you're just like, this is a crazy world that we're
Yep.
living in right now. You
It
know, it's
happens.
just,
It happens all the time. I mean,
yeah,
I see it on all of my videos too. It's, some, I don't know what it is. Just some videos do really, really well. I think a lot of it has to do maybe with the colors, the sounds. I'm not sure, but there's some videos that do really, really well, and then there's videos that get 500, 600 views on them. And I just, there was a point where it was very, very slow, and I just keep putting them out there just to show the colors.
yeah,
At the end of the day, it's like I want people to see the different colors, and I think that's really the biggest thing. Just giving a description for them so they can see it in their own space one day, or not. I mean, maybe it's just for the satisfying aspect of the video, and that's it.
yeah.
But I keep pumping them out.
No, I love that. I love the consistency, and there's many times where I see what is popular on the internet, and I hope it's an algorithm. Some I hope there's some mystery behind it all, and you're just like, I hope to God, because I don't understand this, man. You can try to get some through lines through.
Yep.
I mean, I can spend 40 hours editing this video. You'll post it
Hmm.
up there, and you can't even find it, and you're
Yep.
just like, somebody made this go away. Somebody did something. And then you take an offhand video and you're just like, what the hell do people
Yeah.
see in this? And part of it obviously is driven by some people's interactions and things like that. But God, I hope to God there's a magical wizardry
It's
algorithm.
I don't know, man. It's tricky. It's so tricky. It's
Yeah.
I try to throw in a couple of golf videos every once in a while. It's
Oh, yeah.
that's my pastime. That's what I picked up golf maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Horrible at it, but I still love to play.
With all your extra free time, right?
Yeah, with all the extra free time that I have, I try. You know what though? It's for me. It is important to get out there at least once a week, just to kind of it helps me clear my mind. That's it. Helps me stay level-headed and doing that and doing like my daily runs, all of that. It definitely helps me stay clear-minded for the week. But those videos don't do well. I throw them up there. I'm trying to break into the golf world a little bit more and try to get some videos
Mm.
from them. But it's really the painting videos that just kind of those are the ones that hit. So I got
It's
to run with
fertile
those.
field in the painting world. The golfers, man, boy, there's a lot of dudes out there into golfing. But yeah, painting is kind of untread ground a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why like I said, I saw everybody's videos, I've checked everybody's content. I was like, I got to do something different. I have to do something different than everybody else, and that's what took off. That is, I guess what people love.
Yeah. Yeah, like many things in life, some of the unintentional things are sometimes received the best by others, things
Yeah.
that you did not consider. So what are you feeling about business this year? Is this year different from others? Is it better? Is it worse? I mean, outside of the influencing and the social media stuff, what are you feeling for the painting business this year?
It's been pretty consistent.
Mhm.
Yeah. Would say I feel like it is a little bit slower than it has been in years prior, because usually around this time business starts to pick up a lot more. It has been a little bit slower on in here in the city. I don't know if that has to do with people just a little bit more worried about the economy. There's a whole lot of other things that I think might be going on in the
Yeah.
background there. Consistent enough to keep us busy,
Mhm.
thankfully. But usually, I'd like to say that around this time, I have a wait list of, I tell clients it's going to be 1 to 2 months before we can get to your job.
Yeah.
And right now, we're not at that point. We're consistent. We've got the work flowing, but it's not where I have to tell people we're 2 months behind right now. Maybe 2 weeks, but that's about it.
And
Um,
that's typically different in years past. Come the spring, you'd have a little more, you'd be booked
come,
out a little more.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Usually, come to springtime, it would be at least, I would say, at least a month out. I would start telling clients, hey, I can happy to come out, provide you with an estimate, but as long as you're okay waiting for 3 to 4 weeks or a
Yeah.
little bit longer than that sometimes. And this year, it's been a little bit slower.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think again, I think there might be a little bit going on in the background there with people a little bit more hesitant on spending, and I think the painting side of things, from what I've seen over the years, the painting side of things is usually one of those that slows down first. I'd like to think, unfortunately.
You could
Uh,
certainly make the argument that it's discretionary.
yeah, yeah,
One of those things. It's way more discretionary than plumbing and electricity.
yeah. I think I freeze here.
Nope, you're looking good on my end.
Okay, on my end I froze. Just wanted to make sure I'm okay on your side.
Oh yeah. Interior, exterior, both, or do you one or the other?
Mainly just interior. We
Yep.
do some exterior. I don't really like the guys going up too high, usually more than two, three, or more than 3 stories. Usually, I'll call it quits.
Yep.
Mainly interior though. Mainly interior residential.
And within the interior, my company traffics in the big four: ceiling, walls, trim, and cabinets. Do you try to go after more of one or the other, or is it's
All of
interior,
it.
interior? Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we do all of it. Cabinets. I, Cabinets is a good one. It's definitely one that I've been really wanting to get a little bit more into. We get them. We get them consistently. We have the shop set up similar to how you have it. We have the shop set
Awesome.
up where we have the guys, the spray area there, enclosed and all good to go. So that way we can get these doors taken care of for the
Mm.
clients off site.
Oh,
Um,
that's the best.
yeah. Oh, it's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
It is really really a game changer having that. Makes it. I mean, you know, it's that quality that you get once you spray them compared to rolling them. You can never compare the two.
Can't
Um,
compare logistically getting them off site so you can split your crew up, but then also
mhm.
what the again, we were talking about unintended things here. From getting a shop and taking stuff off site, I had no idea that one of the biggest benefits of that would be to look a client in the eye and say, we're going to take all these out of your house and finish them in a professional place. Clients love that. They
Yep.
love you
Yep.
taking stuff
They
from their
love
house and
hearing
finishing
that.
it somewhere else.
Yeah, they love the fact that it's off-site.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a mess there for at least the majority of the project.
Yeah.
They do love hearing that, and you tell them it's going to be a factory finish after you're done with it, and all of those good things. It's no problem at all. Cabinets is a good one.
Can we
um,
can we do kind of a rapid fire rundown of your go-to coatings for the interior stuff?
yeah.
Okay. Go-to ceiling paint.
Uh, Personally, I like bare ceiling paint.
Mhm. We're probably talking flat. Is it the pre-mixed bare
Yep,
ceiling
the
stock
pre-mixed
white? Yeah.
ceiling flat white, that standard ceiling paint that they've got there.
Yep. Wall paint. Your preferred wall paint.
I personally really like Regal Select.
Yep. Yeah.
I,
Shine.
Usually I go with the satin.
Yep. Yep. Trim.
Um, Trim, let me think about that one. Uh, I'd probably go with the Sherwin-Williams. It's a hit or miss. A lot of the times we like to go with the emerald ones that they have.
Yep. hmm
I really like that one. I like to keep it high, like again, higher end product in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
I usually go with that. We usually go with the semi-gloss for that.
Yep. And when we should do cabinets then too. Same thing.
Yeah, usually yes.
Yep. And
Well, the cabinets I also like to do the advance. We also like to use the advance.
oh, sure. And what shine in the advance?
Usually that one
Uh-oh, we lost Fred. Hold tight. We'll get Fred back on here. Everybody hold tight. Fred, there you are.
there we go. I don't know what the heck just happened here. Sorry about that, man.
No, no worries, man. We're just getting to
My
the good stuff here, and then the technology failed us.
It's just that my laptop said computer was out of memory, so I don't know why that would pop up like that.
Perfect. God love technology, right?
uh,
Oh, so
uh,
we're
Asking me
running
about the
down. We
cabinet.
got ceiling, we got wall, we got trim, and then we are talking about your preferred cabinet paint.
Same thing. So the advanced and that one we usually go with the satin as well for that.
Awesome.
Just a little bit of a shine. I leave it up to the clients to decide at the end of the what they'd like to do. Give them an explanation. You know the differences, semi-gloss between never a flat on them, but just so they have just so they're aware. And I also have a little sample that I bring them. So they can see the difference on like a piece of wood that we have it sprayed on, just so they
Yep.
can see the actual differences between the shines. Because I can tell them, oh yeah, it's a little bit more shiny than satin, but you know, it's I want them to know. I don't want people to come back and tell me, Fred, this is extremely shiny and I hate it.
Yep.
So we bring them samples for all of it, actually, for all of the different finishes, so they can make a decision. For the walls, I've had clients do eggshells for ceiling. I like to let my clients pick what they want. I usually I can give them recommendations, but usually I let them know this is what I recommend. It's 100% up to you what you want us to go with.
It's amazing how subjective some of those shines are because the one thing that we kind of talk a lot about in our company is when a client says they want semi-gloss, they may not want semi-gloss. They may not want flat. And they semi-gloss is a catch-all. Gloss is a catch-all. There actually is, the degrees of shine. There's an actual scientific tool that will tell you if something is like low luster, matte, based on how like light hits something and bounces back. But obviously our clients don't know that. Most pro painters outside of us don't even know that. So it's such a subjective thing. I love to do what you do, and that is pure genius, which is in a world of where satin is subjective, everybody's satin is different. You hand them a piece of wood and say, when I say satin, this is what I mean. And then typically it's like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, of course, that's fine.
Exactly. And it works. It works great, man. And then
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, every couple of months, I'll have them the guys dip it again, just so that
Yeah.
we can get it cleaned up and get it fresh. Because handing it to the clients over and over, it gets dirty. You want to make sure that it looks good. That was something I picked up from my dad. We used to do the same thing with. We used to do a lot of the hardwood floors. I used to do hardwood floors, countertops, and the painting were my three things. And the hardwood floor, I used to have same thing, samples. I would bring them a little wood sample, and just so they can see the colors of the standard colors that we
Yeah.
had. It takes that guessing out of everything. That way, they actually see what it is. Same thing like I do in my videos. It was the same idea. Get that guessing out of there, and just show them what it's
Yeah.
actually what it's supposed to look like. Obviously, lighting in different areas makes a difference, which is why I always told my clients try a sample on the wall that sunlight hits all the time. Try a sample in an area that's shaded, and then try in an area with a ton of light, no light, just so you can see what this color actually looks like in all of these different spaces, man. Because it changes. That light changes everything.
You take the same color in a powder room and a living room or a sun porch, and I mean you wouldn't even guess it's the same color. That natural light versus that one crappy blue LED bulb in a powder room, man. It's just like completely
Yeah,
different color.
it changes it all, man. It could be the exact same color, and it'll look like a whole new one. So
Fred, we're coming to the end here. What should we talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
mm, I don't know. Any tips you would recommend? Anything you'd like to see in the videos?
Oh,
how do you, let me ask you this. How do you handle dealing with your clients? So what is your best way? You were asking me earlier, I told you confidence. In your opinion, what do you recommend to everybody?
man, so I'm trying to think because I had to get super serious about this because I am not the direct person who does this anymore. I did it for 15 years, right? On
Okay.
my own. I did it with my dad. And then it made me get super serious and literal about what I did when you had to teach it to somebody else. So, a
Hmm.
lot of the hallmarks of what I do, the first point of contact is obviously the estimators in my company. And we talk a lot about being brief and bright. And it goes right along with what I saw my father do, which is a lot of eye contact, brief sentences, soft tone and voice, give them exactly what they want based on the experience. And we can leverage a lot of my experience, we can leverage their experience, giving them what they ask for, not what we think they should know. Like we know a lot about coding science. We know a lot about, woven versus knit roller covers. Guess what? Our clients could care less
They don't
about
care.
any of that. It's like,
Yep.
I want to know that you're going to move this furniture, you're going to clean up after yourselves, you're not going to be a crook, and you're going to treat me and my family nice. And,
Hmm.
there's a lot of that great knowledge we have that honestly doesn't mean anything to our clients. And we show them we have that knowledge through that sort of like experience and trust. So I think one of the things that it took me a lot of years to get over was that for many of our clients, this is a very relational transaction. Like this is not one of these things where we sidle up to somebody, it takes years to build trust, and then there's a big sale and an ongoing commitment. One of the biggest things I had to get through my thick head was that some people just want their deck stained, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? They had the idea today. They're out there. It's 70 degrees in Minnesota. It's 70 degrees in Chicago. They take a cocktail outside and think, oh man, I should stain this. Or their neighbors got their stained. They
Yeah.
immediately Google it. They immediately ask some coworkers and they say, by God, I'm going to get estimates in the next couple of days and I'm going to make a choice. I want this done. So I used to think this was more precious than it actually is.
Mhm.
God, I have the same philosophy about clients too. We're going to treat these people like freaking gold, man. Nobody's going to give them a better service, but we also understand that people want it quick. They want a speed to estimate. They want a transaction like Amazon. You can be nice and you can be relational and you can remember the names of their kids and give them a thank you card and a handwritten note, but they also kind of want you in and out of their life for the most part.
Yeah. Yep.
It took me a lot of
100%.
years to do that. So we are relational, but it's that getting over of that, this preciousness and just saying, we're just going to help as many people as we can. We'll be as kind as we can. And like you, a lot of our business is word of mouth, repeat and referral for that reason. And I'm so
Mhm.
glad that we've treated people like that because in years like this, where there's a lot of people struggling, I am so grateful for all those years that we treated those people well.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier today, is that I'm very, very happy that I built this foundation of clients that
Yep.
keep reaching out to me, keep me in business, and keep referring me to other friends and family. Because yeah, if you're like you said, if we didn't build that, it could be a very different story right now.
Very, especially when you got so many mouths to feed, man.
Yeah.
A couple crews and a family, like, dude,
It's
that's
it's a whole
it,
nother level of stress, man. Having that on top of you, knowing that no matter what, you have to help these guys and pay these guys for their time, and
Mhm.
they depend on us,
Yep,
and it can get very stressful. But I've learned again, learning. I learned from my dad. I try to be a step better than he was. He did a
yep,
great job, and both of my parents. I say my dad, but it was really both of my parents.
yeah,
Um, Both of them really helped me to get to the point where I'm at and learn to, like I said earlier, have that time for myself to make sure that I don't have too much stress on my shoulders because that also is not good for any of us.
yep. I
So,
agree, man. And yeah, that's that weird duality which we live in, which is having a lot of mouths to feed is stressful, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Like
no.
I would feel like I'm not fulfilling my potential if you weren't doing something like that. So it's kind of this world where it's like it's a self-inflicted sort of thing that we do.
That we do and we love it for whatever crazy reason.
And typically a lot of us want more of it. So it's a weird thing. I'm so glad people are biologically programmed to do that, because those are the job creators. Those are the innovators. Those are the people looking at things to do differently and better in this world. And I'm just grateful that we're in a community full of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I am grateful to be a part of it now.
Well, I will be watching anxiously to see what kind of innovation you do with this. You're up early, you're taking notes, you're watching what your kids are watching. I'll be very curious, because if I applied anything to my social media that my kids watched, I would put a crotch rocket engine in a go-kart and then I would jump it off something. So
That's yeah. I got to see what I don't know what to do next, man. Now I got to get even more creative here, and that's where it gets to where it becomes a struggle.
you're an innovator, man. You're going to do it, and I'll be watching by. So, everybody, I will have Fred's social media links in this stuff. Fred, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the most appropriate, best way to get a hold of you?
Honestly, I on my social medias, I have my Linktree account there, and
Yep.
then my email's on there. You can just shoot me an email on there. If not, reach me on socials. DM me. That works also.
You got it. All right. I went through IG. This is Fred's link tree here. All his stuff right here. Email on there. It's all there for you guys. Fred, you're the man. I'm so glad we got to meet in Chicago. This has been such a good conversation. I hope we're not strangers, man.
No, not at all. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you bringing me on here. And then, like I said, yeah, you got my emails are on there. All of the other stuff, the coffee, which is part of the backbone, all of that, man. That's all on there. Guys, check it out. They're a cool company. They make all coffee in house, and they're just trying to come up and really, really good, really great coffee actually.
Love it,
All of
man.
the three blends that they have right now. So take a look, all of it. I appreciate you bringing me on here, though, Nick. This has been really, really fun. I'm glad that we connected.
Dude, let's do this again sometime, man.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
appreciate you.
yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Fred, take it easy, man. Thanks for everybody for watching. There's links to Fred's social media, his link tree. We also have links to PCA events and some of my master's classes coming up. Master's classes that allow people like Fred and like me to actually meet and then form a friendship like this. So I'm grateful for all of our industry people. I'm grateful for the connections. And Fred, grateful for you for being here with me tonight, man. Take it
Thank
easy.
you. Thank you.